Hello, this is Mrs. Weatherall. Just going to show you how to, or remind you how to factor out the greatest common factor. You've seen this before, but again, it's a reminder. So when you're doing the greatest common factor, you are going to pull out in the number part of the equation, let me get my pointer here. Got the numbers. I'm going to ignore the variables for a minute. I'm going to take my 6, my 9, and my 12. And I'm going to look at that and I'm going to find the common factor, the greatest one. And remember, factors are the numbers that you multiply to get the number. So like factors of 6 are 1, 2 times 3, and 1 times 6. And then 1 and 9, and 3 times 3, so on and so forth. So I can see that the greatest common factor for my numbers is the number 3. However, now I'm going to look at my variables. If I have a variable x, and I've got an x in all the properties up there and all those terms that are up there, I'm going to take the number of the lowest exponent. So this is a 3, this is a 2, this is a 1. So I'm going to factor out a 3 and an x. When I do that, I take the 6, divide it by 3, and get the 2. I have 3 x's, and I'm really subtracting 1x, so I'm left with 2 x's. I take my 9, I'm just bringing my sign over. I take my 9, divide it by 3 to get the 3. I have 2 x's, and I subtract 1x, and I'm left with an x. Then I bring the sign, the plus sign over. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I have 1x, and I subtract 1x, so there are no x's there. So factoring out the greatest number, common factor, and the variable. So the second example I'd like to show you is I have 14 as my numbers, 7 and 7. Notice I'm ignoring the variables at first. I'm just figuring out the numbers and thinking of the greatest common factor. 7 goes into each one of these terms, so I'm going to take out a 7. Looking at the x's, I've got an x here, here, and here, so I can take out an x. The lowest exponent is a 1, so I'm going to take 1x away. And I've got a y, so I'm going to take a y, 1y out on all of them as well. So my greatest common factor is a 7xy. Then you proceed with the numbers. So notice I put that outside a parenthesis and I start a parenthesis right here. So 14 divided by 7 gives me 2. I have 3 x's. Take away 1x. Gives me x to the second power. I have 1y. Take away a y. And there are no y's. Next term, I bring down my sign that's there. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Now remember, there is a 1 here. If you want to put it there, it's not going to be counted wrong. But there is a 1 there. I have 2 x's. I take away 1. So I'm left with 1x. I have 1y here. I take away a y. So there's no y's here. Bring down my sign. So I have a 7. And I divide it by 7. And I'm left with a 1. X. Take away an x. I don't have any. Y. Take away a y, I don't have any. So I have to have this place value, because if I multiplied it back out, that would give me this term here. So I'm going to show you a couple more examples using your assignment that's on the next page. So I'll give you walk you through a couple answers there.